Hello, everybody. We are going live here on Tuesday Talks on Instagram. And Tuesday Talks is all about getting to know an inspirational person who is driven and exceptionally, continually, consistently doing things and what drives them. We're going to find out today in our podcast with them to find out what drives them, why they do what they do, what motivates them, what keeps them going. So today's guest is called Tim. He's a very good friend of mine. And let's get Tim on and get to hear his story. He is an amazing, amazing person who has turned his life around with the help of hypnosis, from a very shy, timid person to now speaking on stage, speaking on podcasts, speaking and also doing so many various things that you would just not believe that he's able to do now that he was not able to do when he was growing up. And he is still very young. He is in his teens. So let me invite across Tim. That is. I see you there. Let's have sent the invite to you there, Tim. You should hop on in a minute. Hey, Tim, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am amazing. Thank you very much for taking the time out and hopping on to the talks. I've done a very brief, short introduction for you, but you're the best person to expand on it and let everybody know who you are. What do you do? And the biggest question every time on to the talks is, why do you do it, Tim?
So I'm Tim, and I live in London. I'm a hypnotherapist and transformation coach, and I mainly specialize in helping people who are introverts to become confident through hypnotherapy. Because in the past, when I was younger, growing up, I used to be very shy. I struggled to make friends, struggled with interacting with people. I felt lonely, and on weekends, I rarely went out. I spent time just inside playing video games, and I wasn't actually happy. I was just doing it as a way to escape.
Mm,
And I was just at school, I was just the guy who was focused on grades and work, but I wanted to be able to communicate. People used to call me the quiet kid at school. I was always called the quiet kid. People asked me why am I so quiet,
mm,
and I felt really ashamed of that. Um, and I knew that if I don't get rid of this, if I don't become more confident, that this is going to affect me in the future. Because you need confidence if you want to be successful. If you want to be successful in your career, in your professional life, you need to be able to have confidence. Do job interviews. If you want to succeed in business, you need to be able to put yourself out there, promote yourself, and network. And if you want to succeed in relationship, dating, you need to talk to women, you need to
mm.
have confidence. Something you need in
I,
every area.
So and I really love that beginning of your journey there, for being so quiet person and being called that at school as well. I can just, imagine the emotions that were going through and you were aware enough to recognize it and turn it around, because a lot of people or a lot of guys at your age would have just gone the opposite direction and go more shy and more quiet and go backwards, right? But you said, nope, I need to change. I need to get out. I need to date. I need to do this. I need to hang around with people. So what was that? So what was that journey of turning it around then? How did that come across?
Uh, so my journey with personal growth started at the age of 13. At the time, I was bullied and I was shy and lonely. And at home, I picked up this book. It was called Bring Out the Magic of Your Mind by Alcohol.
Mm,
And
mm,
I started reading that book. It was basically a book about similar to Law of Attraction, and that book got me really into meditation. I started just wanting, getting more interested in meditation and started practicing every day. And from there, I discovered the Silver Method, which is
Mm-hmm.
a self-help program which teaches about meditation, and I started diving into that. And then through that, I discovered Mind Valley in 2014, and then learned about Vision. And from there, I read the book Code of the Extraordinary Mind, and that book started getting me to start questioning the rules in society. I started to have more and more awareness through both meditation, through reading that book, and gradually I started doing the quest on Mind Valley, and I learned about Marissa Peer, Paul McKenna, and from there I eventually discovered hypnotherapy, and that is where most of my changes have occurred through hypnotherapy.
Mm-hmm.
I booked a session with a RTT therapist, and in just a session, I noticed a big difference in my confidence, how I felt, and soon I had a few more sessions with different things, traveling, social anxiety, and soon I was able to go from being this shy, unable to make friends, unable to talk to people, fear of doing phone calls, video calls, to now being able to have lots of friends, being able to travel, meet new people, stay in hostels, and be able to speak on camera, record reels, film an online course, and
Mm.
do podcasts.
And I really love this journey as well, in terms of how you turned it around. And how amazing is this that you had the awareness when you were 13, right? 13. And how old are you, just for the audience who are listening at the moment? How old are you?
I'm 24 now.
24 now, and this episode is being recorded on 31st of October 2023. And that is an amazing journey that you've taken when you were 13 to being 24 now. And if you are that aware and you've gone through ITT and hypnotherapy, and worked on yourself, personal development, it's just going to be an amazing journey by the time people usually start thinking of these things, but in their 30s and onwards. So it's just an amazing journey that you picked up on a very earlier on in your life already by the age of 13, where usually a child at that age, or a young child at that age, would have usually gone more backwards or more inwards, being more quiet, more not non-social, just lock themselves in the room. And usually that is the age where they lock themselves in the room and not do anything. And then if they're getting bullied, they just get bullied and not tell anybody. But it's great to hear that you were able to just turn that around, find that book that was for you. So you tune into yourself and went for your calling. That's what I'm also taking away from what I'm listening now, right? And am I right to say now, is that what is driving you also in what you are doing out there for the world?
Yes, so I used, because of where I was before, my shyness, I want to help others be able to overcome too, and also experience the benefits of hypnotherapy. I've seen
Mm.
so much change because of hypnotherapy, and I want more people to be able to experience the amazing benefits that it can have for them.
I really love that, and we're gonna dive into this a little bit more further in the episode today as well. So before we get into this, I want to also, if you could explain for people who are not aware of what RTT means and what exactly how did exactly hypnotherapy help you? Like what was the process? Because a lot of hypnotherapy has mixed feelings out there, right? Because not everybody understands it. Paul McKenna is great, but he's also known as a TV show guy, right? Having some fun on the TV as a hypnotherapist. But we know, you and I have met him. We know he's the real deal as well. That it works. So for the audience here, if you could take us through what is RTT and how did that came into your life now, and how did it work for you?
So RTT is a method developed by Marissa Peer. She created it, and she's a hypnotherapist. She's been on TV as well, and I learned about her through Mind Valley through one of her quests. She has two quests there: Optimize Life and Rapid Transformational Therapy for Abundance. And I did both of them, and I really liked them. And from there, I learned about that she's trained therapist. She has certified therapist. She's trained over 15,000 RTT therapists,
Wow.
and I just wanted to, like, I was at the moment I wasn't making much changes, and I really wanted to be able to start. I was willing to do whatever it takes to invest in myself to change my life. So
Mm.
I booked a session with an RTT therapist, and I had my first session, and I noticed a big difference afterwards. Got
What does RTT stands for?
that
If
it
for
stands
people to
for
know,
Rapid Transformational Therapy.
rapid transformational therapy.
And the reason it's called that is because it's meant to be rapid. It's not meant to take, years and years. Like people
Mm.
spend years and years in therapy, in traditional therapy, and they don't get much changes. But with RTT, it's meant to help you fast. Instead of taking years, you can take months to make changes.
Right. Okay. Okay. And then obviously after that that's helped you, and you were what did it help you with in terms of like, okay, that was right at the beginning of your journey of pivoting and getting into your self-discovery and self-development and personal development, and investing in yourself. And I love that you started doing this, because not a lot of people think about investing in themselves. And that's the first thing I would love everybody who is listening to this now to take away. And if you've got a book or a notepad or something, write it down. Invest in yourself. We need to look at this as some investment in yourself and your future. Whatever that is that you're challenged with, there's always a way. It's just need you to sit down and looking at what is needed for that to be done to help yourself and move forward. And I love that you mentioned that you invested in yourself, whether that was taking that RTT with Marisa Peer's coaches, and then we can see the result. You are here having this podcast with me. If you weren't, we wouldn't see you here, and I would have not met you through Mind Valley, and I would have not even had we did a mini interview in Estonia this year in July, which is also on my page. If somebody is interested, they can also see, and I believe it's on Tim's page as well. But you can all go and check that out. How that was done. It was live, and it was done live, and you were freely conversation. We cannot tell that, oh yeah, this guy is a camera shy person. Okay, you didn't do anything. You were just like, let's sit down, and we started talking live. There was no thing, oh, don't, what you're gonna ask me? What was this? There was no hesitation. And we just had the same here now. When we just connected to just do test a little bit of the camera stuff and sound, there was no hesitation of like, okay, what questions you're gonna ask me? We were like, okay, let's go, and we are here. And I love that. I firmly believe that people have to invest in themselves in order to overcome whatever the challenges are. There's nothing external. All challenges can be overcome by looking at what is stopping you. And I love that you invested in yourself to get over that. And okay, so what was the next step that you did? Obviously, after the RDT, you went into hypnotherapy from Paul McKenna. Is that right?
Yeah. So after having several RTT, I was going to last year I went to Mind Valley University for the first time in 2022, and right before then, I saw that opportunity to do a workshop with Paul McKenna to get trained in hypnotherapy. And I saw that if I joined, then I could learn for 4 months as well and be certified as a hypnotherapist. And I saw that opportunity, talent, and I thought I'm going to go for it. It's a great way to learn further about hypnotherapy, and also because I was already starting coaching for that as a
Hmm.
meditation coach, and I thought I want to help people now with hypnotherapy because that's what helped me.
Hmm. Well, and that's an amazing journey in terms of where you
you became you went through the hypnotherapy side of things, and then you decided to become the coach to help others now with the hypnotherapy side of things. And and I am just in awe of, like, if usually they say, people say, if I can do it, anybody can do it. It's like, yeah, if Tim can change his life and around, anybody can turn their life around after this. Like, okay, so take me through, how are you now helping people uh do the same what you've done? I believe you've got a masterclass coming, right?
Yes, on this Thursday, 2nd of November at 8 p.m. I'm doing a live masterclass to help people be confident on camera by harnessing the power of their mind. You I'll be teaching different techniques that I've used to help me become a confident person on camera.
Nice.
Also showing how I do everything, how I post videos, and how I am able to be consistent, take action.
Nice. I really like that. I really like that, and I would recommend everybody to check it out. Because there, if you are someone who is camera shy or lacks confidence in terms of, in terms of, you do not think that you can do this, picking up your phone and recording a reel, uh, picking up the phone and just going live on Instagram and just talking about something that is important to you, or if you have a message in your heart and it's coming out, is waiting to be delivered, is waiting for the world to be heard, but you're not doing it just because of that fear, I definitely would recommend to check out Tim's masterclass, because Tim is the prime example here of how a person can turn that around. That shyness, that confidence is now, lack of confidence, I'm afraid, sorry, is all gone. And look at this person here now, full of confidence, and having this conversation with us here now. So, Tim, whilst you changed all these, you went through all this pivoting and changes and growth. Um, a lot of time also people talk about morning routines and rituals and things like that. Is there something that you now do that is uniquely to you now? I'm sure you tried a few things, so whatever you like to call it, a morning routine or a ritual, what is it? Just take us through.
Uh, so for me, the most important thing is every morning I do meditation or I listen to hypnosis audio, and that gets me started for the day. That's the most important thing. And right now, I created a audio for myself with all my goals, like visions, and I just listen to that every day. And that I feel
Nice.
that audio is what's helping me stay persistent, take lots of action. Because when I created this audio back in just the start of August. Literally within a few days, that was when I started posting like reels every day.
Nice. Wow. Okay, so that's actually a good. So you're listening to yourself, giving you the message of what you need to be doing throughout the day and all that stuff. Is that what it is, or is that like to
It's
move forward?
my end goals, what I want to achieve, whether it's my business, where I want to be, if I want to be traveling, or if I want to be speaking on stage. For everything, I'm a successful coach,
Hmm.
successful, and doing that, I feel like becoming who I am in the inside, and then that's like,
Amazing. So, and also, what do you do to wrap up your day and get ready for the next day? What's the ritual there for you tonight? End the day now.
I just reflect on my day. I think about what I'm grateful for in the day, and if there's something in my day in the day that I didn't like, I use a technique that I learned from person, famous author, famous social teacher. His name's Neville Goddard, and it's called Revision. And it's basically involves like if the day didn't go the way you wanted, you just imagine it going the way you wanted, and when you do that, it can change how you feel about your day. So,
Nice.
and when I do that, I just feel different. Also, visualizing my goals right before I sleep, and then sleeping with the feeling of already having my goals to sleeping.
I really like that actually. That if you somebody's doing that regularly and you're doing that regularly, your mind is already going to bed thinking of all these amazing things that you want to achieve and you've already achieved basically, and how and what are the ways that you can achieve. And then when by the time you wake up, it already has the ideas and how you can enjoy these things that you wanted to achieve and how it can work. And I really love that. So that's a wonderful share. Thank you very much. Um, we're gonna be wrapping this up shortly as well. But before we do wrap this up, how can people reach out to you if they wanted to reach out to you and also sign up to your masterclass, which is happening in 2 days' time? For people who are listening to this episode has been recorded on 31st October 2023. And if you are listening to this anytime after this as a podcast or anything, I'm sure you can go onto Tim's page, which I will obviously have tagged to this episode, and see what is he doing now. But yeah, please, Tim, take it away. How can people get in touch with you, and where can they find more about this masterclass?
So they can reach out to me through Instagram, Tim.coaching, and also my email, tim101coaching. And for my masterclass, they can just DM me and let me know about their interest in my masterclass, and then I can share them the full details.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Tim, for sharing that. I'll recommend everybody who's been listening to us or watching live on Instagram to go check it out. Because, Tim is a prime example, only 24 and changed his life to be confident and everything. So you can just imagine by the time he reaches the actual years of people that, in their 30s and everything, when you realize we need to unlearn so many things, you have already started doing that at the age of 13 and you're only 24 now. That's just so amazing that is. So the final two questions that I have for you, Tim, is what would you like the people who've been listening to us in this episode to take away from our conversation today?
So I would say the first one is to invest in yourself, because if I didn't invest in myself, then I wouldn't have been able to make the changes I made. And also,
Mm.
being I did, it would have taken a lot longer. I would have gone through a lot more trial and error, figuring things out. And also, to try out hypnotherapy, I think that's something that I feel is going to really change your life, make big shifts. If like,
Mm.
you tried everything and it's not working, hypnotherapy is the go.
Right. I see. Okay. And that's actually good for people to take those things away. If people have pen and paper, rewind a little bit and make some notes. Write it down. And last question before we wrap this up. I know you're still young, so usually I ask the question the other way around for people to what would they love, what do they know now that they would have liked to know when they were a teenager or something. But in your case, let's ask the same question, but in a different way would be, what do you know now that you would have preferred to know a little bit earlier on in life?
So for me, it's knowing about that I don't need to um, be perfect,
Mm.
that I don't need to um, that I'm okay with where I am at the moment, because sometimes you feel like when you're young, you feel that you need to pressure yourself, but you don't. You can have goals, but you don't need to like feel bad if you're not where you are yet. Like you can, because I'm still young, and there's still time, there's still lots of time, and to just accept where you are at the moment and just enjoy the journey, enjoy the process, and also learn hypnotherapy earlier because then my life would be a lot earlier, would have been a lot more better, and I would have grown a lot more.
Love love this. So, Tim, thank you very much for hopping on to the Tuesday Talks today, and everybody who's been listening to us live or as a podcast stream later on as well. If you had any spark or any inspirational or aha moment, it's our duty now to share this episode with whoever and whomever had popped into your mind or you think should be listening to this, to share this. It's our duty to expand our spark with others because we don't know who's gone to bed or who's woken up today thinking of a better day. And if this episode has done that for you, created that spark, it might just create that spark for them as well. So thank you very much, Tim, and thank you very much everybody else for joining as well. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, great. Bye bye.
Bye.